He calls himself Love. Billion-dollar deals, white party yachts, and a Rolodex that reach every corner of pop culture. The world thought Sean Diddy Combs was untouchable until a lone gavel in Lower Manhattan shattered that illusion and slammed the door on his freedom. Today, we dive deep into how the king of bad boy entertainment went from champagne showers to sharing an 8x10 cell, and why the danger he faces now isn't just a prison sentence. Back in the late 90s, Puff Daddy seemed to print money. No Way Out went platinum 7 times, the Coliseum-sized concerts, the million-dollar birthday bashes, the revolving circle of A-list friends. Everything screamed permanence, but behind the velvet ropes, whispers lingered. Interns who quit overnight, girlfriends with unexplained bruises, and bodyguards paid more to stay silent than to protect. That silence acted like armor until the armor cracked. Yet the bigger the empire grew, the deeper the cracks became. By 2023, Forbes estimated his net worth north of $900 million. He flaunted that success on Instagram, pouring crystal clear vodka over glittering diamonds for the camera. But in those same 24-hour stories, eagle-eyed fans spotted the first signs of stress: weight loss, a nervous lip bite whenever Cassie's name surfaced, and a public apology video that felt rehearsed, almost hostage style. Most scrolled past, prosecutors did not. But empires rarely crumble in a single day. They erode headline by headline. The first lightning bolt struck in November 2023 when Cassie Ventura's civil suit triggered a media avalanche. Photos of faded bruises, testimony about fear-soaked hotel corridors, and a confidential settlement rumored at 8 figures sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Insiders who'd once vowed to ride or die began making quiet phone calls to federal agents. A pattern emerged: late-night flights routing through Teterboro under shell company manifests, international hostess recruiters shifting six-figure payments through crypto wallets, NDAs thicker than phone books. By March 2024, the Department of Justice had enough to convene a grand jury, yet Diddy brushed it off on live streams, flashing the peace sign while quoting scripture. That bravado evaporated on September 16, 2024. Just after dawn, 12 agents walked him out of the Manhattan Nobu Hotel in cuffs, charging racketeering, sex trafficking, and Mann Act violations. Cameras rolled as his signature grin twitched into disbelief. The mogul who once managed every narrative suddenly had none. May 5, 2025, jury selection began under Judge Arun Subramanian, a Brooklyn-bred jurist with zero tolerance for theatrics. Over 7 weeks, prosecutors unspooled a story darker than fans imagined. Hotel rooms turned freak-off arenas, threats delivered with the casual cruelty of someone convinced consequences were for other people. Former Danity Kane singer Don Richard described a skillet swung in rage. Suge Knight, calling collect from a California prison, testified in writing that the East Coast rival once bragged about owning women like property. A stunned gallery gasped when previously sealed security footage rolled, Combs shoving Cassie in a hallway, then matter-of-factly straightening his collar. Defense attorneys countered that every party was consenting adults in a high-octane lifestyle. After 3 days of deliberation, the jury split, not guilty on racketeering and sex trafficking, but guilty on transporting 2 women across state lines for paid sex, each count carrying up to 10 years. Verdict day sketches captured Diddy's jaw clenched the moment the words guilty echoed. Within hours, Combs' dream team filed for immediate release on a $1 million bond offering ankle monitors, passport surrender, even round-the-clock private security. Judge Subramanian read them the statute. Mann Act convictions trigger mandatory detention unless exceptional reasons exist. He found none. The defense tried 4 more times. They waived letters from Christian Combs, who lamented missing dad's morning pep talk, and from Gina Hewing, surprisingly praising Diddy's growth. Prosecutors replied with exhibits of bloodied knuckles, secret audio of threats, and flight records hinting at a private jet pre-booked for Barbados the week after arrest. On August 4, 2025, the 5th denial arrived. Judge Subramanian wrote, "Violence behind closed doors is impossible to police with conditions. No dollar figure secures the community from danger. In one swoop, the man once nicknamed Money-Making Mitch learned money couldn't buy sunlight. MDC Brooklyn is nothing like a 5-star suite. Fluorescent lights hum 24/7. Lunch is bologna on white bread. Guards call him inmate 37452-054. The Bureau of Prisons placed him on suicide watch, stripping shoelaces and belt. Word spread fast through the tiers. A music titan now shared a shower queue. According to a Page 6 insider, one inmate hissed, 'We run bad boy now,' before guards intervened. Fearing retaliation, lawyers cited violent threats in a bail memo. The judge wasn't swayed, noting staff had already kept him safe. Still, Combs is no passive prisoner. He joined STOP, a counseling program for offenders in sexual violence cases. He drafted a 30-page accountability manifesto rumored to spotlight childhood trauma and industry temptations. Some inmates admire the hustle, others smell PR spin. Christian Combs' Instagram letter called the verdict soul-crushing. Daughter Chance posted a single broken heart emoji. Quincy, the eldest, remained silent. Friends whisper he's distancing to shield acting opportunities. Suge Knight, once an arch enemy, declared Diddy belongs exactly where he is. Talk show legend Wendy Williams echoed that sentiment, pleading for a life sentence. Meanwhile, brand partners evaporated. Chirac scrubbed his likeness. Revolt TV announced a leadership reset. Radio DJs debated legacy versus liability. Some argued separating art from artists, others pulled his catalog from playlists. In Clubhouse chat rooms, ex-bad boy artists shared long-buried horror stories, knives thrown at walls, studio doors locked from outside until a hit was made. Former President Donald Trump, once photographed arm in arm with Diddy at Mar-a-Lago, told reporters a pardon would now be difficult after some terrible statements Diddy made in 2020. Yet lobbyists still trade rumors of campaign donation leverage in exchange for clemency talk. Back in court, Mark Agnifilo filed a July 31st motion for acquittal or new trial, arguing prosecutorial overreach and prejudicial media leaks. Prosecutors fired back, attaching sealed affidavits alleging witness intimidation stretching to 2022. Social media sleuths claim a hush money fund set aside $20 million for potential accusers, uncorroborated but trending under hashtag pay for silence. Such rumors, whether true or not, widen the credibility Canyon Combs must cross to regain public trust, and guidelines suggest 51 to 63 months, just over 4 years, but prosecutors hint at aggravating factors that could push the ceiling higher, especially if fresh evidence surfaces. Defense hopes to shave time by citing philanthropic ventures and his newfound participation in rehabilitation programs. Yet even a mid-range sentence would mean at least 3 more birthdays behind razor wire. Civil suits from former employees loom, eyeing what's left of a fortune already bleeding legal fees. Music catalogs can be sold, but stigma can't. If a miracle occurs, acquittal on appeal, presidential mercy, one question remains. Can Sean Combs ever reclaim a throne built on charisma now cracked by court documents? In an era when accountability rarely sticks to megastars, his case might become the precedent. So where does that leave the man who once danced in bright white suits while the world chanted, "Can't nobody hold me down"? Tonight, nobody has to hold him. Iron bars do that job. Whether those bars slam shut for only a few years or for the rest of his legacy depends on a judge's pen and a public's memory. And here's the twist worth pondering. If power can't insulate Sean Diddy Combs, who in entertainment truly remains untouchable, the answers, good or bad, may shape how every superstar sleeps tonight.